So, it's been a few months. We're here. We just did our brewing comparison taste test thing that we're going to do at the start of every episode. So, welcome back to the coffee course. Myself, Jeff from Tree Bark.
Tom from Pangea.
And Enda from Cali Coffee Bar.
3 boys.
Yeah. Because everyone really wants a show with 3 white guys. So here we are. We're giving the people
what they want in 2022.
Especially coffee. It's all about the
End of pandemic. Let's just get back to what we're used to.
Yeah. Okay, so
The good old days.
what's been going on with you? You had your first birthday while we were away.
Yeah.
Not you, but like Cali.
Cali.
Cali
Yeah,
is
Looking great. You look fantastic.
I age well, don't I?
Cali as an entity had its first birthday.
We're actually now thinking, like, now that the lockdown has ended, that maybe we can do we never did an opening party. We never did a first year party.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so this is mad.
You sort of opened the doors and it just went
We
mental.
just went straight for it, yeah.
Mm.
It's our first year. Been a mad year. So that was crazy. Couldn't really do much for it.
Mm.
I don't even know what we
And
did.
you have your first employee.
And we have our first employee, Lana, who'll be joining the podcast. She's been great fit for Cali. A lot of progress. It's been really nice, actually. But yeah, that's kind of the update on Cali, really, on our.
And you've been doing your
things.
lekker brews and your other kind of
Yeah,
new
we
stuff.
trying to do. We're trying to shape it up a little here. Have a guest espresso. We actually just started a guest espresso, so we have an Indonesian now. So the idea is to have like our espresso, which is really good, and then a second espresso that is completely different. So
to be
which
fair,
is-
the one you gave me
yeah,
2-3
so
weeks ago, the
different.
Indonesian,
Yeah.
absolute cracking,
Yeah.
but definitely very like diverse.
Yeah, and I think for us, like, the idea is to if someone comes in here and gets the same coffee every day, and like comes in one day and go like, I just want something completely different. I'm just so used to that, and give them that, and then also to blow people's minds by showing how different coffee can be.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're doing, and that's the sort of emphasis on the guest espresso.
And what's the uptake been like? Have people been keen to come in and go, blow man?
Yeah, actually, yeah. More so
In
on
Salt Hill specifically, you know?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
No.
And like, I think it's more in terms of like people like. It's more when people are sick of what they have every day. Then they're like, I just need a change. Do you suggest anything? A lot of people are like, what do you suggest? And then there's like, okay, well, that's a dangerous question.
Yeah.
But okay.
For such a small menu, it's massive, you know?
Yeah. So it's been good to do that. We also have a third section on the menu where it's like, the lekker brew. So it's a change of everything. So sometimes you might add, like, we had a gingerbread.
Gingerbread white, wasn't it?
White, yeah. So we had like a gingerbread syrup with gingerbread toppings on top, mixed delicately with the espresso. The idea is a delicate mix. I can't stress that enough. It's not one overpowering the other. It's a nice balance. So it's to kind of like change things up in that regard.
That's very much as we spoke about on the episode where we mentioned syrups, and we said it has to complement and balance it rather
exactly.
than, and that's exactly
The
what you do.
overpowering, yeah. And I like the idea of, as we go into the summer and we go to like lighter drinks for the summer, almost like coffee cocktail, but like
still have people
mocktail.
asking you for iced coffees
Every
today,
day. Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
2nd, 3rd of February.
3rd of February, yeah.
Do you have any iced coffee
Yeah.
today? I'm like, no.
Yeah. Climate change. Warming the
Trying
world.
to save the ice.
Yeah.
Keep the ice.
Yeah.
Imagine holding on to ice just in case some lad comes in and decides when it's 8 degrees out that he wants an iced coffee.
Yeah. That's the job. And we keep it just for him.
Yeah.
More
In the
ice
hopes that he might show up.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
But I like the idea of hopefully doing something like that. Like, I saw a cool recipe. So like in the barista competitions, they have for a barista competition, the third one is a signature beverage. So it's one where they mix the espresso nicely to complement with like flowers, juices, nectars, all these kind of things. And to sort of do a real small like foot into that kind of thing. So yeah, like I saw one recently was like an iced honey black. So it was mixing this organic honey with the espresso over ice and black, and it sounded really cool.
Yeah.
So experimenting like that, I guess, but only one drink, not a whole host. I don't want to become like a like a juice bar or something. I don't know, like
for espresso.
Bubble tea
Yeah.
now available.
I just want like
Yeah.
one specific juice or one specific drink that we do over a period. So yeah, we're kind of experimenting like that. It's actually nice. And nice with the filters. Filters actually gaining
Traction.
Yeah. The more we do, a lot of it is like, hey, we have a batch. Would you want to taste it? It's more like we're doing it for the sake of doing it rather
Mhm.
than actually being asked to do it.
But that's good
Mhm.
because then people can know that they can come in and maybe have a little,
Yeah.
what a commitment to
Yeah.
changing what they do.
They can get a
Um,
little taster.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's always interesting the first time you give someone filter and they're like, "This doesn't taste like coffee."
Yeah.
You're like, "Well, no, it doesn't taste like what
Yeah.
you think coffee
Yeah.
tastes
Yeah,
like."
yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah. Sometimes I feel like I'm pressuring some customers because I'm like, oh, try this. Oh, you like Americano? Try this
Yeah,
batch
yeah.
we have. And I kind of force them to go like, that's unreal, yeah.
Yeah.
Might grab it back.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, do.
Yeah. We really need it. I need this, man.
Take another one. Go back and get
It's our first year. It's my birthday.
I'm one.
Get me something for my birthday.
If you want to live. Yeah. Anyway, what's going on with you, Jeff?
We had the 3-year thing there at the end
Yeah.
of last year.
Well,
Yep.
that's another
Yeah, I know,
crazy
right?
milestone.
It's crazy, right? So, yeah, so we've been kind of the same as you guys. We kind of found our nice setup. We've put as many grinders as possible to push.
Yeah, you got
on
a new
bar
grinder?
now,
Yeah.
So we have a nice little setup now. We upgraded our main espresso grinder to the new grind by weight.
Unreal.
Upgraded to a new
Very
puck
jealous.
press.
Very jealous.
Put the Mythos in as the guest espresso. Have a dedicated decaf
Well, for
Moving
some-
up, man.
grinder.
Wow.
And
When
a
turn
bag
3.
grinder.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah, you're 3, man. That's when all the shit happens.
Gonna splash.
Yeah. And yeah, we took on a few new roasters in the last while. We started working with the guys in Farmhand in Dublin with Peter up there. Very
Yeah.
small crew there. Really
Yeah.
enjoyed the stuff from them. The newest one is Ground State from Dublin as well, who I think are the only people in Ireland using an electric roaster rather than a gas roaster. Yeah. They use electric anyways for sure, but I don't know if there's anyone else that's doing it. And it's very interesting. Profile's completely different.
Wow.
Had a nice chat with Mark there from that about
Oh, man, I'd love
how
to
they
see that.
reach. Yeah, I have some in the car actually. I'll drop you in
Oh,
some. I think I gave you some of that massive. I came and held
You
up
did,
the
you
entirety of
did,
Cali
you
one day,
did. Yeah,
giving
yeah.
in to bags of
Yeah,
coffee.
yeah. That was a lot, yeah.
So yeah, there's that. Like, you know, it's a bit different for us because we have the huge retail side of things. So we had a pretty hectic Christmas with loads of small Irish businesses. So we've like pushed the shop back by extending the back room. Like last year, we pushed the space at the front forward by really extending a massive bike rack area. So now we are going sideways. So we are taking a second unit 2 doors down. We're going to be focusing on doing some kind of food and small Irish food products there.
That is huge. That is big.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're currently
Congratulations.
in the midst of kitting
Mhm.
it out whenever Dan gets that finished. And
It looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
What you've done inside there.
Yeah.
It looks.
yeah, we've gone
I love the schematics on the on
the
the
drawings.
wall.
Yeah.
Really nice. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's going to be really nice when it's done, and we're going to be able to. We're using some of the veg that's coming to us will be from a farm that's less than 2 miles down the
Yeah,
road.
that's the job.
Yeah.
That
You
is
know,
what
we're trying
you
to keep
need
it as local
these
as we
days, yeah.
can. Small Irish food businesses rotate their product through our menu so people get to experience new Irish food products and hopefully bring them new experiences with food as we've done with coffee for the small village we're in. And it's just something we don't have the space for in Tree Bark. And we
Mhm,
found our
mhm.
rhythm and what works for us really well there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So there's no point trying to squeeze something else in there
Mhm.
Into
when
that.
there's another space nearby that we can
Mhm.
do things with. you know.
Great.
What the name is?
Crave, which is branch in Irish.
Lovely.
Mm.
Which is great.
Yeah,
Because True Bark and
Yeah.
very well done.
And I'm
Ooh.
kind of looking forward to getting back in the kitchen for a while, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you been out from it?
Oh, 3-4 years maybe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I would have thought it was longer. Jeez, that's
Yeah,
pretty
4 years. Actually, 4 years this year since we finished up with the
It's so
restaurant.
funny. I think of
Yeah.
you now as like a barista, you know, and,
Yeah.
I knew you as a chef. I was even like coming down here beforehand thinking to myself, I was cooking a really nice chicken fried or like fried rice at home, and I was like, I'll bring this up to some of the guys, and then I realized, holy crap, he's a chef. Jeff is a chef. He's not gonna like this, so I left it at home.
So instead, you brought commodity grade coffee
Yeah,
to
yeah.
the baristas.
The lads will love that. That'll go down well.
Yeah. Wow. So when are you open? Or when you?
Probably the end of this month, February. Things, man, are so everything is just like really slow at the
Yeah,
moment. We had
yeah.
to strip out the whole floor, and we poured in this
Yeah.
new resin floor.
Looks great.
Yeah,
Looks sick.
yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
But it
Are
just
you
took.
like doing the red everywhere?
So the coral, yeah.
If you want to talk about
um,
the
Yeah,
decoration.
no, it's fine. Yeah, we have the floors, we have the walls done like that, and the ceilings, and we're gonna have some really nice kind of antique old grocer style tiling and stuff. you know.
Okay.
So we'll have a nice clean white tile kitchen, but we're gonna have a mix of yellow and coral tiles. Tile the whole outside the
Mad.
building. We're gonna do some nice festoon lighting. and we are
Holy
due
crap.
to install the giant art murals at the side of Tree Bark.
Yeah.
So I have new pieces ready from another local artist.
Oh, wow.
So when we strip those ones out, we're going to repurpose them into a feature installation for the roof.
Sick. Really well
So-
thought out.
Yeah. So we have some cool stuff coming up, you know. But
Did you read that book that says like the color red
Yes.
is great for like tasting coffees and things like
Yes,
that?
oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you have red,
Yeah.
blue is really bad apparently, and red is really good.
Better change
Yeah.
that blue one.
Yeah. I don't know what green is, but halfway
Green's
between both.
calming, but it's usually
guess.
lighter green than this.
Yeah.
You know?
Ominous green.
Yeah,
in the background.
yeah, foreboding green.
Yeah. Get that
You
bag.
remember
First your
foreboding green, yeah,
birthday.
we'll go with that.
Always go back and get
Just
the
right,
bag.
get that bag.
And another one. Yeah.
Amazing.
That's
for you?
class.
What's going on with you, Tom?
In terms of coffee, I have coffee every morning. I brew a cup of coffee, a sweet,
Me like
delicious
coffee.
Me likey. I brew 1 cup of coffee a day. That's it. Gotten into the decaf a little bit this winter.
Any good ones? to
No,
shout
I
out
was
about?
drinking calendars.
Hmm.
Got a shitty.
It's solid
It's-
I love it. Like,
I grabbed one the last night when I was recording a different show down in Tree Bark, and it was like 8:30 at night, and I hadn't had my coffees that day, but I knew well I couldn't. So I just had the machine left on, threw on a cup of that. It's cracking.
yeah,
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
really good.
Absolutely
Yeah.
cracking.
Yeah.
You know?
And I see it getting in popularity. I'm like,
Mm.
we're doing a lot of decaf now. 'cause
Decaf
people
is
like,
pretty big for us. It's
Yeah,
always been pretty
weird.
big for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
mad. But it's like, normally now in the past when we worked in cafes and we serve decaf, I'm actually embarrassed to serve the decaf because like one, the no one pays attention to it, so like it's always
Expect
like,
it to be
runs
bad.
Shot
Yeah.
runs in 3 seconds.
exactly, and you just serve it anyway. You're like, oh, it's decaf, but
Yeah.
like it's solid, and we don't do that here. We
Yeah.
pay attention to it,
Yeah.
and when you pay attention to it and like give it the work it needs, like it is really really nice.
Yeah.
Like,
Like
Yeah.
genuinely, the only difference is the lack of caffeine. You know.
Mm.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
have to
honestly,
think about
yeah.
it that way.
Yeah.
It's not like, they don't taste it anyways. Give it to them. You know.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
We do have some half and halves for people like with the new grinder. You can just dial in the weight to 9, so we're mixing 9s and 9s. For
No
people who wanna do,
way.
Like a low carb.
What's that like?
It's actually all right.
Yeah?
Yeah. It has to work with. It doesn't work with every bean, but
Wow.
Some people want, their second coffee today. They want some caffeine, but they don't want.
Yeah,
you're making
like
your own
single
blend.
shots. Yeah, single
Yeah.
shots are like
Oh.
what are those?
That is so
Cool.
interesting.
Yeah.
Mad.
Yeah, works.
Wow. I've heard of that, but I've never actually like
Yeah, it's worth a go.
experienced it.
Yeah, it's worth a go. You know.
Mm.
And then every time someone orders it, you have 1 shot of espresso for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One for them, one for us.
Yeah. You know?
Anything else, Tom?
Anything else? No, just fooling around with coffee this year. I bought a new. Well, actually, it was last summer. Really, I bought it, but I bought we were talking about it earlier.
Clever dripper.
Clever Dripper, which is
Not
a
so clever apparently.
no, stupid,
That's his trigger.
stupid dripper, stupid. Whoever designed it was stupid.
We talked about this, not to say clever, because it just sets him off. Trigger dripper.
Waste of money dripper. We'll get back to you on that. But yeah, for anybody that doesn't know what a Clever Dripper is, it's it essentially is a V60, which is your V-shaped dripper with a filter. And what all they've done is they've put a stop plug, so it means when you put it on the counter, it acts as an immersion coffee brewer, which means it doesn't flow through. And then when you put it on top of the vessel, the stop plug opens and the coffee flows through. So you can actually steep the coffee in the immersion for a couple of seconds to do your bloom, and then start the pour through, which is great. It's amazing, fantastic. All of the above, I can go on, but I dropped it on the floor and the thing broke. So it essentially is
Shoddy
useless.
dripper.
It essentially is
And he's
doesn't
very
function
angry.
at all, and I paid not very much amount for it, but still you expect it to work. So I essentially have a crap V60 now, so I don't use it anymore. So it's great. Concept is great, but really disappointed. I was really loving getting the hang of it, and as well, especially for going like camping, when you just want to get the brew going, but you don't have when you make you kind of have that few seconds of like when you're making 2 cups of coffee for somebody, you're kind of searching for, crap, where's my vessel? What am I going to use? A shoe, a cup? What am I going to use? Whereas with this thing, you can just start the brew and just leave it on the counter, and then kind of spend all day over
And then pop it under.
Pop it
right?
under.
Yeah,
By that time, you've probably ruined the coffee anyway because you've probably overbrewed it. But sure, it doesn't matter. It's all about it, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was using that, but now I'm just gone back to the V60, which we saw in the live video. There, yeah, which I love. You know, I love the V60.
It's the most, used. Like I actually
Yeah.
use a batch brewer a lot. I have a Mocha Master at home, and that's kind of easy one to put on in the morning and just
Absolutely.
Absolutely,
Fire away
I love
with
it.
there.
Yeah,
Little routine and have it ready for when you're heading out the door. Like
yeah, they are the best.
Mm.
Yeah, but
I
doesn't work for every coffee though. You know.
That's true. Do you know when they do the cup tasting, it's all made on Mocha Master batch brews?
Really.
I didn't know that. So like the World Cup tasters, all the coffees are made on batch brews.
I get it though, because it doesn't matter how you consistent you are as a person in your method or whatever. Like it's not going to be the same.
Yeah.
Whereas with this, if you put the same amount of water in and you grind it the same size,
As long as
Should be
no
hard.
tampering with it between.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting though. I thought they would have just been like cupping coffee. I
Yeah.
thought,
yeah, me too.
But no.
As well, like I think it debunks the whole thing of like wetting your paper as well. I think that's complete bollocks.
well, I still wet it before
For V60.
for the
no,
batch
for
brew.
the
For
Mocha Master.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Like nobody wets their paper. You just put
I
it
do.
in.
Well, I do.
You do.
Yeah.
I do too.
Like
Treats.
what? You turn on the kettle and rinse it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have like
That's
a,
No,
the
I
whole
do
purpose.
with the tap. I do with the tap. It's cold water I rinse through.
I have a little kind of permanent water
don't do it
kettle
that.
thing.
I kind of do it so it sticks to the.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
get
cone.
that. But like the
I
majority of
never
people
have the
would
patience
never
to
wet
do,
it.
like the
No.
amount of water that you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, because it's just by volumetric, right? You just pour it up to the.
To the 1
To the-
1 liter or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mum and dad have a Vilfa, the
Oh, yeah.
Svart Vilfa.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
And they got it from a company. Not going to say who. Great company, but which was a great understanding, but it just stopped working one day, and we opened it up and we realized the pump had stopped working because a little piece had gotten through it, a little piece of dirt, and the pump stopped pumping water. So yeah, it was great to see the mechanics of it.
Oh, yeah.
But
I had one that broke as well.
the Vilfa ones with the real nice mechanics of it, and they're
Yeah.
designed really well. But yeah, like my mum and dad have had the Mocha Master. They ended up giving that away to somebody. Oh, we ended up fixing it and giving it away. But in the meantime, my mum had already told this company, and they'd send her out another
Sick.
Mocha Master.
Nice.
It's alright. It's a big multinational
Nice.
company, all good.
Yeah.
But it happened again with the Vilfa, and
But the second one.
the first one,
Oh, the
and
first
me and dad had to end up going again
Over to the new people who had it.
to my aunt who had it and fix it. So, and in the meantime, the Mocha Master, not a blip. You know, they're just so good. They're so
Yeah.
They're solid.
They're solid,
They're
yeah.
solid. Yeah.
I would really recommend a Mocha Master if you want a Mocha Master for parties or
Yeah.
people coming over.
Do you use the glass jar one or the one with the vacuum pot?
We have glass jar.
Oh, they have a glass jar. The vacuum pot is anything plastic and glass. I hate. You know,
So you're a vacuum pot all the way.
I would be if I had it, but I don't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would be. Yeah,
Yeah, we have the vacuum pot one at work.
yeah.
We have the glass.
They're
with the hot
fantastic.
plate.
I've learned this little lesson, like what we call the real tree bar coffee experience is when you work there, you only drink cold coffee because every time you make
Yeah.
yourself one.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's
You
the
know.
curse of the barista. It
Right.
happens here all the time.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to make a filter.
I was going to put it on the
Everyone-
menu, new item, just
yeah.
cold coffee.
Yeah.
So what I've actually started doing is if we don't have batch on, or if we've used the batch and we want to brew something for ourselves, I've learned the lesson now. It's like brew it and immediately put it into the
Oh
vacuum
yeah,
pot.
so it keeps
So at
it.
least because like we were making the little tin of sumo the last day.
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
this is the most expensive coffee I've
Oh
ever
yeah.
brewed.
Yeah, yeah.
The minute I start this, I
Yeah.
guarantee a queue
Yeah.
is going to
Yeah.
form.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm damned if I'm not,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You paid
Yeah.
so
So
much
I
money for
full
the
on
fucking
had to
thing.
ignore someone behind me for a minute. I was like, you can't turn around. I was like, you can't turn around.
It's my third birthday here. I'm making some fucking coffee.
Yeah. That I honestly will announce I'm gonna make a coffee just because I know if I announce
Yeah.
it and wait a few minutes,
Yeah.
someone walk in
Yeah.
the door
Yeah,
Just shout it out the door.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna make a coffee.
I'm going to enjoy it.
yeah. I just pop around the corner like, did someone say coffee?
So, what was your best coffee? I know we did this on the page,
Yeah.
and I think
Um,
I have your picture here. You can.
So yeah, I don't want to get say the wrong one.
This
Yeah,
was
that
yours,
one,
I
yeah,
believe.
yeah.
Yeah.
So mine was a Ethiopian carbonic maceration heirloom coffee,
That's the one.
and it was roasted in Berlin by I forget the name. Roast
Rostetta.
Berlin, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was brewed by Nicole Battlefield, Nicole Montgomery Battlefield, who is the German Brewers Cup champion. and it was actually phenomenal. The really cool thing about that coffee was that every day I brewed it, it changed. Like the flavor notes didn't degrade in quality; it just changed flavor notes. Like it was actually mad. And she wrote on, I think she has a blog where she wrote like the day after roast, so the days after roast, and what it would taste like. And it was amazing. It was really amazing. Like one day I was getting like kiwi and rose, and the other day it was like more tropical, and it was like pineapples. It was such a cool experience to have that. And the really surprising thing about it all, and I don't know, I haven't looked into it, but it was like really cheap. That bag was like €16.
What?
Yeah.
For an Ethiopian.
And she won the Brewers Cup with it. That's the exact coffee that she used to.
Wow.
Yeah. It was it's carbonic maceration.
Isn't it all these days?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now the more I learn about coffee, the more I like delve into all this stuff, the more I'm like, okay, I really gotta look into anaerobic and carbonic maceration coffees before I brew them, because they have a tendency to give out flavor notes that aren't representative of the country and the terroir that they're grown in. And I think the important thing about coffee is to represent the farmer and where they're grown. So if you're not doing that, like, what are you doing? Some good points were raised in the podcast I listened to recently. Like sometimes they have anaerobic and they like chuck a fucking melon in there because, you know, chuck a banana in there. And like, okay, what's the line there? Yeah. Like, am I getting coffee from this region, or am I just getting coffee mixed with banana syrup? Do you know? It's really interesting, and it's a topic that we could go on in a different, and we have touched on it as well. And we will. But I just found that was really interesting, really cool, and
actually reminded me as well, looking at your post about that coffee, was we had our coffee of the year and our coffee experience of the year, and for you, and I think for a few of us, to be fair, was getting the chance to chat and meet with Wojciech.
Really nice guy as well, like really nice guy.
So for anyone who's watching this who doesn't know, which is kind of weird, he finished 6th
in the world,
in the World Wrist Championship, and after only being told he was able to compete
3 weeks beforehand.
Pretty amazing.
And he used the coffee, I could be wrong in this, but he used a coffee that was actually a year off harvest, so it was like the oldest coffee on stage, and he still did so well. Really, I just like breaks down all the barriers.
And he very generously gave us some of that when we met him, took him home and brewed it, which was pretty class. You know?
Unbelievable.
Really nice guy.
Super
and he's really excited about it. I love the energy from him, like really cool. And also our trip to Imbibe.
For me that was the great experience this year. Like, I mean, I know it's great to get to your roasters, and it's brilliant that we're so close to our main roaster calendar. We can tip anytime, but get the chance to go up to Dublin and meet with Gary and the crew and see how they run their business, not just from like a coffee roasting point of view, but to hear them talk about the model they use of, like, you know, giving back, both you know, in terms of actual financial contribution and supporting projects that really matter. It's huge, like, and I like very earnest, really open. We had some great talks about the industry in general.
Really like down to earth guys. And the whole crew.
Super sound. And they have a great little setup up there. And they loaded us down with coffee, leaving like some really, really good rare stuff.
Too generous.
Like, I think at one stage my main barista at bar was leaving the building, and short of throwing more bags of coffee at him, and I'm talking like, you know,
serious coffees, like as well. And it wasn't just like, oh, we have some visitors, let's just give them any old thing. It was like, let's give them serious stuff.
Looking through to see, okay, have
really
we got
nice.
that stuff that, you know,
I really, like, that's really
like
nice.
I've got a couple of bags from Gary this year, some of them from 90 plus and stuff, a lot of them from Panama, but one of them from Colombia, the Finca St. Louis, and it was just absolutely like, it's the kind of coffee where I want to make sure I have time to drink it when I have it. I really want to enjoy it.
Exactly.
And I've been doing that with the guys. I've been breaking open lots of different bags just to kind of, more than what we talked about in the live, is to broaden your kind of, you know, taste dictionary and learn other stuff, because there's a danger of, if you're down behind the machine and that's all you're drinking every day because you want to get it right, then that's all you get to know. So you have to kind of veer away from that as much as you can. But I think on reflection for me, it was the episode we did back at the start when you brought the Eugeenoids. I think is how you pronounce it. I'm still not sure.
Eugeenoides, whatever.
Because it's just such a different taste experience. You know, what a completely different taste experience. So that was absolutely cracking. That for me. How about you? What was your kind of?
To be honest, I didn't really have like massive standout coffees. I got a few like flashbacks. I had a few. Lindsay bought me one from 3FE back in February. And you know what? It brought me back to when I first started trying out coffee, maybe like a year in, and we had opened Pangea, and I had started fooling around with, I'd bought a Chemex, and I was really excited to start using this Chemex. And I remember spending the time like during the summer, really romantically waking up every morning and trying to make coffee. Really, I'm gonna make some coffee. And I remember talking to Stephen Chan. I remember talking to Stephen, who was working in coffee work at the time, and I went into him and I said, "Hey, Stephen, man, I woke up one morning and I got this coffee from Keen Coffee, who are based in
Netherlands.
the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Coffee work used to have them, and it was really, really lightly roasted, and it was an Ethiopian natural, and it tasted like baked bread. It tasted like really, really strong, funky baked bread. And it blew my mind. And I went into Stephen. I had to ask him, "What the hell am I tasting here? Because this is delicious." And the same thing happened to me back with 3FE when I had that pack of coffee, and I don't know what it was. I've got a feeling it was an Ethiopian. It was definitely a natural anyway.
Okay.
And it just took me away. I've been drinking a lot of Calendar this year, mostly Calendar, and their just stuff is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had a few kind of flashback moments as well, a little bit with April and Dan's coffee as well.
Oh yeah.
That was really, really beautiful
Yeah.
coffee. But yeah, I had a really nice one as well from Imbibe. It was like a spearmint and cola one. It was so good, and it really fit the bill as well. So
They've had so many good coffees for me in the last year. And the thing is, what's great is like their packaging is so low key. It's very like the details just right there. But then I struggle to remember because it's not like a crazy name that I can go, oh, it was that one. But I have an idea. I think I know what one it was.
Yeah.
The 3FE one, I must look up for you. The guys in 3FE sent me this really cool poster. It was like a periodic table with all the coffees they released that year.
Yeah.
It was very cool.
Yeah.
And it broke it down by region and varietal, and their little kind of symbol look that they have for each kind of specially release, and it's great because I got a chance to go back and go, oh well, that's the one that I liked.
Yeah.
You know.
And then you get
cool.
to kind of like maybe hone in on like regions and what you taste in regions with that. That's a really good idea.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was good. It was like I was like, oh yeah, like, more people should do this. This
Yeah.
is
Mm-hmm.
you know, because people want to know. They want to like. I keep the bags sometimes or the sleeves, you know, or just the labels. But after a while, it's hard to keep track.
Yeah.
You know? And like for us, it's obviously like like. How many different types of coffee would you have on the shelf anyway?
Yeah, like I think 8 now. Yeah, 7, 8. Yeah, which is
I've
mad.
28 different bags of coffee.
Yeah, that's
on
crazy.
the
It's
shelf.
crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, when someone's like, "Have you tried all these?" I'm like, Jesus, what do you think?
Yeah.
What kind of time do you think I have in my hands?
Yeah. That's the other thing as well. And if you go to do it, someone walks in the door and goes like, "I'll have a coffee."
Yeah.
You
Which is
can't
why we
really
try
do
and open as many bags as we can to
it.
go through.
Yeah.
And share as much as
Yeah.
you can as well. Yeah.
Which is the sharing is the key part. I think you know, get that little coffee exchange going. I have to get that back up and running.
Yeah.
I just won't do it when you're open for business and stop the whole place.
I'm not complaining. I got to have it after, so. The one thing for me is like when the bag like fits the bill, like you said. I absolutely love that because it just shows like the craftsmanship.
Yeah.
You know, it shows like the coffee is structured, it's clean. You can tell the roaster knows what they're
There's
doing.
intent.
Yeah, there is intent. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm all about intentional coffee these days.
Yeah.
Coffee
meant to
with
drink that coffee.
intentionality. Yeah. And then I don't. I hate it.
I'm looking forward to this year. I'm just looking for like crazy coffees. I don't care if I like them or dislike them. I just want something.
But it's an experience. Like we talked about this before we came on air. It's like you don't necessarily. It doesn't have to be an amazing coffee all the time or great, but if you don't experience something a bit different.
Yeah.
And you posted about that as well. This year, what you want, like.
Yeah, because I'd be. Like, I know I am the worst in the world. Like, I had to be very careful when we used to do the wine list in the restaurant because I'd be like, oh, this is class. I'll put this on here. And then people are like, what's this?
Yeah.
I just wanted a Malbec.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're not allowed to have Malbec.
Try this.
Double pinotage. So you have to just like, and you'll exhaust your palate. It's like everyone who got mad at craft beer a few years ago and was like slamming the IPAs and then couldn't taste anything else afterwards, you know? It's just sometimes, and you know, but what's great though is then when you go back and you do have like I don't want to say regular coffee, but you have just a good, clean, well-made, well-balanced coffee, and you go, oh yeah, this is just as good. I mean, it's totally different, but it's just as good.
Yeah.
Because if you have too many like good coffees, then you're like kind of ruining it for yourself as well. Because then that just becomes the norm, and you're like, then
this is the
it's
biggest
boring,
complaint I get from customers is like, oh, I just can't drink coffee anywhere else now. You've ruined it. Like, I mean, I guess it's my fault, but like, I'm sure you get it here too as well. You know.
Yeah. So funny. My mum has one rule in making coffee. One rule only. She does not weigh her coffee. Ever. She does not weigh her water. She does not weigh her coffee. And I said, why? And I was like, if you weigh your coffee, you'll have consistency. She was like, that's it. I don't want consistency. I was like, what do you mean you don't want consistency? If I've got consistency every day, I'm going to have a great cup of coffee. And then I'm not going to appreciate that cup of coffee, So I was like, yeah, okay.
Really
I was like, fair enough. I was like, and she was like, is that how you feel about coffee? You're probably more pissed off about the times that you've made it wrong. And you're like, damn, my day is ruined because I've made this coffee. Whereas when she actually makes a good coffee, she's like, so I'm only thinking about the times I've made shitty cups of coffee. And she's only thinking about the times she's had class cups of coffee,
Do you know what?
That's solid.
Yeah.
The only problem is,
I mean, you couldn't use that in business.
Yeah. That is
well,
you might get a good coffee today. Oh, fuck, I don't know.
You're the inconsistent one today, okay?
but keep coming back.
That's why look tomorrow.
That's why they pay money, and they don't go to my mum's house to have coffee.
But I love that.
It's good. It's a good way,
I know. And some
I
hipster part
can't
she
fault
could
that.
start her own business doing that.
Probably make loads.
I can't fault that, I just
Yeah, you
can't.
can.
It's the same with boiling an egg, Some
Yeah.
people want to time it and get the perfect egg, but some people don't, and they want to. It's kind of roll
Like
the
a
dice.
lottery.
Yeah.
You
gotta
it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Just raw. Looks like going to hospital again. Diarrhea.
You do that with your kids, Am I gonna raise my kids right or am I not? This one's kind of fucked. This one's not.
Parenting advice.
Parenting advice with three white men.
Only one of whom has kids.
And who's silent.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I think we've probably covered enough and wandered enough for today.
Yeah.
We mentioned it during the live, but we should say as well that from the very, very start, from when me and Tom started doing this 3 years ago. Now, 3 years ago we started doing this,
Right.
and we obviously had a big gap in the middle. Hey, Owen Bell just messaged me as I'm about to talk about him. Owen was with us every single step of the way, and always was a massive help in setting us up, even in the early days when we were kind of really figuring out. So Owen has moved back to Donegal, so we will really miss him. He's always the man behind the camera.
May he rest in peace. He was a good man. He was a good man.
We lost him. Another one. So thanks to Owen for
big
I don't know how many episodes now. I've lost track because we started splitting these into seasons and.
Is this technically like season 3 now, or what are we doing here?
Technically, this is season 3. Why not? Let's just call it season 3. Because we did a good few when you were away and so forth, and we did a lot kind of over the phone during COVID and stuff. So we've done like 50, 60 of these things now, I think.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
But as I said, thanks to Owen for having been with us all the way. We obviously we're about to lose Alish as well since she's moving.
Yes, that's right.
I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about this yet, but she's
This
moving
won't be released until
tomorrow. Next week.
next week.
Yeah.
Insider news.
She'll also be dead by then.
Yeah, to us. Moving up to another part of Ireland, and we will have, hopefully on the next episodes, Laura and Lana. And we're going to be joined by Quiva from Barista Bus. We're going to start shooting some of the stuff down there in that wonderful space that ourselves and Jamie have down
Great
there.
to have another location.
Yeah. And bring in some more of the crew from around Galway. Like we said, now that we can start doing these things again, bring in some more and make it a real community effort,
Yeah. And anybody else who wants to join, we've said it to you a million times. None of you have taken us up on that.
Yeah, exactly.
So
bastards.
Stop sitting behind the camera.
Yeah. All right.
Also, if I think there's going to be a Galway Coffee Festival, if you want it, put yes for Galway Coffee Festival in the comments.
Yes.
Below.
Ooh.
And then we'll
And
see
if
if
you've
people have listened all the way to the end.
You know what? You've listened to the previous
A call
28
to
minutes.
action is right.
Yeah.
Let's put this bit at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little mini Galway Coffee Festival
I
for
think
the
that
industry.
that would be doable and really great.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Let's put Galway on the map.
Yeah. Quite literally.
Literally.
Yeah.
Because it's not.
Yeah. They left it off.
Void.
Void.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
and we
guys.
will catch you on the next episode.
Ciao.